Mr. President, I'd like to point out we've been seeing a lot in the news lately about the American economy, and it's really good news. Last Friday, the Wall Street Journal had an article with the headline, "Youth Unemployment Hits 52-Year Low." A 52-year low. For people between the ages of 16 and 24, this is the best job market that we have had since 1966. The article went on to say that more opportunities are available to groups that historically have struggled to find jobs. People are getting opportunities, Mr. President, because the American economy is booming. Since President Trump was elected, we've gotten more than 4 million additional Americans working. The economy grew at a rate at more than 4% last quarter. The Atlanta branch of the Federal Reserve is predicting that we're going to have another 4% growth this quarter. So people are seeing the effect of the booming economy in their paychecks and in their lives. Average wages are up more than 3% last year. So you look at all the good news, and it's no wonder that confidence is going through the roof. Small businesses are now much more optimistic than they've been since 1983. They're hiring, they're expanding, they're raising wages, and they are much more confident about the future. Well, it's all happening because of the Republican policies and the Republican priorities that we've been putting in place. It's what happens when you have a president who puts the needs of the people first, instead of the desires of unelected, unaccountable, heavy-handed Washington bureaucrats. When President Trump took office, one of the first things he did was to put Washington on a regulation diet. He said that America was open for business again. So what does that all mean? What happened? Well, in the Trump administration's first year, they issued 3 new regulations. And they cut 67 regulations. 3 regulatory actions, 67 deregulatory actions. That's a ratio of 22 to 1. And it's in favor of cutting red tape, eliminating regulations, cutting the amount of paperwork that people have to fill out. Nobody's ever seen anything like this, Mr. President. This administration, working with this Senate and this House, has been streamlining and simplifying and striking out regulations from the very beginning, and we're not slowing down. When you add it all up, it amounts to about $14 billion in savings since the start of the Trump administration. Republicans in Congress have been doing our part as well. We know that the reason America's economy had been struggling for so long was because it was being strangled by all of the red tape that comes out of Washington. So we used the authority of Congress to roll back major regulations that were harming our economy, burdensome to industries in our communities and our states, punishing to people who are just trying to do their jobs. We cut 16 unnecessary, burdensome rules, saved Americans $36 billion in the process. So if you combine what the President has done and what we've done in Congress by passing the Congressional Review Acts, Republicans have saved Americans $50 billion and over 16 million hours of filling out needless paperwork. Of course, Republicans also passed the biggest tax cut in 36 years. That's the other big thing Republicans have done to get the American economy booming. Every Democrat in the Senate voted against the tax cut that Republicans passed. This tax relief bill and now the law gave people an immediate boost in their take-home pay. Millions of Americans also got bonuses and raises because of the law. Now, because Republicans have cut regulations and cut taxes, America has a strong, healthy, and growing economy today. The Congressional Budget Office came out with a new report recently. They looked at the numbers for the first 10 months of the fiscal year that we're now in. They looked at the rising wages and the rising employment, the falling unemployment, all those things, and they said that those are big reasons why revenue from the federal government, coming in for the federal government from the workers of the country, is actually $26 billion higher than it was at this point last year. So more money is coming in. Well, how do you do that? By cutting taxes. How do you get more money to come in? Well, you do it because more people are working, more people are getting higher wages. All of those things are leading to increased revenue coming into the government, because of the fact that we have cut taxes. Because when you cut taxes, you turn the economy loose. You turn it loose to create jobs. Good things happen. The economy grows. More people find work. More people get raises. More people get more money in their own pockets, money that they can decide if they want to save or spend or invest, how they want to do it, and revenue goes up as well. But Republicans want to keep going with more of these policies that have worked so well to spur the economy. We want to do more to help economies and the economy create jobs, more to help people keep more of what they earn. I think that's what the American people want as well. It's what I hear about in Wyoming every weekend. What do Democrats in Washington want? Well, they seem to want the exact opposite. That's the way they vote, and that's what they've been saying. Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts actually introduced legislation last week that would create an entirely new government bureaucracy. Republicans are trying to rein in the bureaucrats. Democrats are trying to give bureaucrats more power. This new Democrat plan would give Washington more power to control how American businesses operate. It would take away freedoms of the owners and the executives of these companies to create jobs, take away the freedom of these companies to create more jobs, to serve their customers, and to grow the economy. So the government ought to make that decision according to this legislation. Democrats are clearly hoping that this will become the new and latest liberal litmus test. It'd be an absolute disaster, just like all the other plans that we've heard from the Democrats that they're trying to put in place. It's like the Democrats' plan that they claim they want to raise taxes. I mean, that's actually what Nancy Pelosi said, the former Speaker of the House. She said that Democrats would do, if they took back Congress, she said, we would raise taxes. One Democrat leader, very prominent on television, a governor of one of the major cities, said that we're not going to make America great again. He actually went on to say America was never that great. This is what the Democrat governor of New York said last week. Well, there's some very big differences between Democrats and Republicans. Republicans want policies that put more money in the pockets of hardworking people. That's what we want. More money in the pockets of hardworking American families. Republicans want policies that take more control out of Washington and let the decisions being made back at home, in the hands of the states, in the towns, and in families. Democrats seem to want to raise taxes and raise barriers to the economy. Mr. President, we're coming up on Labor Day, and I hope that Democrats in Washington and around the country will embrace the policies that will actually help create jobs. I hope Democrats are going to embrace the policies that are helping young people find work at the highest rate since in 52 years. I hope that Democrats will embrace the policies that are actually raising wages for American families. I hope the Democrats will recognize that America is a great country and it is getting better every day. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.